Hello, and welcome back to our Awakening Intuition video series, where we pull oracle cards twice a month for the first and second half of each month. I'm excited to pull cards for the second half of January, and at the very end, we'll also talk about my yearly calendar, A Year of Self-Love, and we'll do a little special something with that at the very end of the video. So we're starting something new for 2024, where before we even start pulling cards, very quickly, I want you to ask your intuition for a number 1, 2, or 3. So I'm going to pull 3 cards, and it might be that your intuition can help you discern which card might be the most useful for you in the second half of January. For the first half of January, we had a really fun, really nice long video where I asked the angelic realm, my angels and guides, for a nice word of intention for us for the year ahead. And the word I heard was hope. I feel like that word hope and the wish for a better life for ourselves, our loved ones, and everyone in the world is a wonderful seed to plant in our hearts and our lives, in our minds for 2024. All right, so now we're going to pull 3 cards, 2 from Awakening Intuition and 1 from Grace and Healing. We'll just do a little mini unboxing. So this deck, really, the company I partnered with just did such an excellent job, not just on the guidebook inside, but even this lovely, lovely little kind of velvet velour pouch that it comes in that people are loving. Even the box is just so attractive. So we'll get these cards out, and we are going to just warm them up a minute with our palm chakras. Just hold them between our palms, and we're just going to set the intention that we get some really lovely, helpful healing messages from this deck for the last 2 weeks of January. And I'm just going to put my little glasses on while I start shuffling. Use your own shuffling method, but you know what I'm doing. I'm looking for a card to really jump out, stick the landing, and say, Tanya, Tanya, Tanya. This is the card we want to. I haven't gotten one yet. Keep going, and don't be afraid to keep pulling for a while. There you go. So we got a card that really stuck up a couple inches above the rest. I'm going to take that card. Lovely. Now we're going to do one more card. Again, we're just looking for a card to really let us know. Now this card kind of peeked out to the side, you know, and I saw it do that as I was the one shuffling, so I'm going to take that card. Love those 2 cards. Now we're going to put this deck back, Awakening Intuition, which has just been so popular. I've been so pleased that people are loving this deck so much. And then we're going to get Grief, Grace, and Healing, which is also really finding its audience, which is nice. This is a deck that's about loss of any kind. Anytime you're experiencing any sort of loss, it could be the loss of a loved one who passes on, or just a relationship that leaves your life, anything that leaves your life, a job, a career, a change that's going on with your body. Anytime there's a sense of big change or even loss, this can be a lovely deck to work with because it's really a soft energy deck, and it has these lovely 3 themes of grief, grace, that benevolent force that comes in to help you rebuild, heal, and pick up the pieces after loss, and then healing, that lovely nourishing energy that really helps you move forward in a new way. So here we go. We'll choose 1 card from Grief, Grace, and Healing. And as you know, I do the pull for Grief, Grace, and Healing a little different. Hold it between my palm chakras, and then we're just going to let it fall open where it wants to fall. And this is a different way you can do a pull from a deck if you want. So we're going to, I like that. Ooh, good card. One of my favorite cards in the deck, actually. So here we go. So we've got our cards 1, 2, 3. So you can pay attention with just fun, playful curiosity to which number you picked ahead of time. And we'll read these cards. The first card from Awakening Intuition is Anchor into Your Energy. Love this card. Come home to yourself instead of focusing on others, tasks to be completed, or the external world. Stop riding every wave and drop anchor by doing an activity you love or spending quality self-care time alone. Center yourself to feel more powerful, calm, and confident. Your intuition will then stabilize. So this is a card just as it said, and there's a lot more information about the card in the guidebook. If you have this deck at home, you can grab that and look. But it really is about the reminder that daily we need to anchor into our own energy. And sometimes there can be so much going on that makes us feel scattered or frazzled or drained. We need to spend a little bit more time mindfully doing that. I really have a feeling that there could be a lot of kind of rushing energy in January, in the first and then now the second half of January. And there's a need to really pull back and anchor into ourselves. I'm hearing to feel more powerful. So if anyone out there is feeling a little insecure, lacking some confidence in a certain area of our lives, of course, that's so common for us to go through phases of that. I'm hearing if you can anchor into your energy a little bit more in the second half of January, you will feel more powerful, more confident, more courageous about whatever actions you're wanting to take, especially in the month of February, I'm hearing. So anchoring into your own energy can just be mindfully pulling back from others in the world, as this card says, not isolating in an unhealthy way, but just kind of getting back in touch with yourself. What are my wants and needs? What am I feeling right now? And one wonderful way to do that is just to do things that you love. So you don't have to make this really complex. It can simply be as a way to de-stress and to stabilize and ground yourself, to just do some activities in the second half of January that you really love. Do you love to do creative writing as a hobby? Get that out, get that going. If you love to garden, if you love to cook, if there's a shop you love to visit, if there's, even an activity you love to do with a friend that you two go and do together, you take a workshop, you go to a museum, you go see a movie, do those activities, whether they are alone or with others, that really, really are so authentic to you and remind you who you are. Even on a soul level, these are things I've always loved to do. This really helps me anchor into me. And especially if you're a sensitive or empath, it might be that there's just a lot of rushing energy in the world in the first half of in the first part of the year here in January. So you might just want to really kind of bank your energy and do a little bit of that. If you're living in the part of the world where it's winter, really kind of pull back and cozy up and just get into your own energy. I really am also hearing this will help some people watching the video get a better idea of their own ideals and what's important to them and what they would ideally like to spend their time and energy on. So that was card number 1. I love that card. This is also a really cool card from the deck. Awakening Intuition is the deck, and the card is Open Up to Feel. Mindfully tuning into energy and emotions around you now is nourishing. Whether it's the calming energy of nature, the inspiring energy of someone you admire, or the connection and intimately sharing someone else's emotional experience, it's safe, healthy, and healing to absorb in a balanced way. Bond with others and the world. So this is a really cool card, and if you've gotten any of my books about sensitive people or empaths, Self-Care for Empaths, or my relationship book, Empath Heart, you know that I talk a lot about how there are, and this is oversimplifying it, kind of 2 ways empaths can walk through the world. They can open up to feel and absorb, or they can pull back to witness and observe. So it's just something that you're kind of toggling back and forth between mindfully as an empath or sensitive person. And this card is saying we might want to open up to feel a little bit more in the second half of January. Particularly, I'm hearing feeling things that are nourishing. So it might be that part of anchoring into your own energy in the second half of January is saying, let me really open up emotionally and absorb in a way that feels nourishing, particularly, anything that helps me feel more stable, grounded. It's especially, I'm also hearing inspired. So it might be a great documentary. It doesn't have to be a documentary where everything that happens is easy and joyful. It might be something where there's difficult things happening, but there's real meaning to the journey for this person, and there is a healing or inspiring ending of the story. So, and it might even just be, you know, I have this friend who always uplifts me and always makes me feel more courageous, or always makes me feel more hopeful. Let me schedule a little date to have lunch with that person. So really being mindful of opening up to absorb, I'm hearing to kind of fill up your tank. You know, if you're feeling a little drained or a little, you know, even a little down or something like that, it might be that you're opening up to feel very mindfully, like, what's going to really fill my tank? You know, what movies, books, people, places. And then when I'm there, let me just open up and feel all of that really nourishing energy. And remember, another way you can do that is just working with angels. You know, you could read a great book about an angel. I have a couple. You could play music like Enya that reminds you of angels. It sounds like an angel singing. You know, it might even just be getting more into your spirituality. That might be something that, you know, helps you really fill your tank and open up to feel. I'm also hearing this is a card for some people watching this video, a reminder not to numb out. So sometimes when sensitive people or empaths feel overstimulated, overwhelmed, they can kind of numb out to their environment in a protective way by maybe overdoing things that in moderation work for them, but in excess don't work, like drinking too much wine, watching too much Netflix, isolating, that kind of stuff. So remember, you can also calm your system, ground yourself, and refill your tank by mindfully opening up to feel really nourishing things in a balanced way. So that's a lovely card. I felt a lot coming in about that. And then the last card, number 3, is from Grief, Grace, and Healing. And it's a really nice card. Accept and surrender. I'll read this card to you. Accepting the loss of something foundational, a loved one, a job, a home, or a way of being in the world happens in stages. This card signifies you've reached a new level of acceptance. You may feel contemplative and philosophical. Surrender to grace and unexpected blessings. You're not required to change or fix anything. Just let it be. So I do feel like there are some people watching this video who maybe have come to terms with some things that have changed or transitioned in their life. It could be a loss. It could just be something that's a big change or transition that, you know, feels like an ending and a new beginning coming. And I think what I'm hearing is a lot of people are needing to connect to a sense of calm, a sense that they can ride the wave of what's ever happening in their life. If it's a storm, that they can just kind of go within and calmly ride the storm out. Or if it's a wave of big excitement and wonderful things happening, that they can kind of ground and anchor themselves to feel, you know, neutral, calm, balanced in a healthy way. So it might be in the second half of January, it really helps you even to manifest things to accept and surrender. Sometimes when we are looking at, well, what can I control in this situation? And there may not be too much you can control at this moment. One thing you can control is your energy. And so process your emotions, express them, validate them to yourself, but you can also work with an energy of acceptance and surrender, which, you know, it's a little counterintuitive, but sometimes that can be the magic X factor that helps you manifest something that you've been trying really hard to manifest, and you haven't been able to do it any other way. So I hear calm, calm, calm. If you're needing more calm, or that's really resonating with you, work with this accept and surrender card. And then we're going to do something a little bit special. This is, we usually do like an exclamation point message. So a message that might resonate with everyone. And if a couple of these cards resonated with you, that's fantastic. You can see how they play out for you the second half of January. With my calendar, A Year of Self-Love, there's a couple ways you can work with this calendar, and I just wanted to show you. As you know, it's recycled paper, which is fantastic. It's got this great back, so you don't have to worry about that. It has a little stand that's built in. And then every day will give you an action step and a little self-love message to work with. And the pictures change every day, so you can kind of get an idea of what that's like. So I just wanted to show you how I use the calendar myself. What I will do, and I shouldn't have taken these glasses off, is I'll open up my calendar, I'll go to, the day's message and read, okay, this is fantastic. I love this message and action step. And then I'll give myself an extra message. I'll say, okay, that's great. That was the message for the day in this particular calendar. Now I'd like my intuition to give me a message that might really, really resonate for me today. And how I do that is, again, I'll just pause, as I always do, say I'm looking for a really healing, intuitive message for myself. Then I do a flip. It's so fun. I do this every day. I flip the calendar and trust that it's opening to something that will just be a nourishing message for me. So our flip that I just did for us for this video is, some days I just need to stop and acknowledge how wonderful I am. Oh, this is so lovely. I can be humble and still realize I'm a gift to this world. Wow. Great message for all of us. And here is its little shooting star. And it's so funny. I actually wore this star neck. For some reason, I felt like I really needed to wear this star necklace. I kept seeing a star clairvoyantly in my mind. So I think there is a message for all of us for the second half of January, that we might need to acknowledge that there is something, we all have special attributes, special parts of our destiny, things we're meant to give and do and be in the world. So don't underestimate that. And you might just be needing to anchor into your own energy to figure out how, let me get clear again on what that is for me right now. And I'll read the message for you one more time with this shooting star and my star necklace. It is, some days I just need to stop and acknowledge how wonderful I am. I can be humble and still realize I'm a gift to this world. Oh, that's really special. Okay, that was a very, very special message. I'll even share with you, it landed on my birthday. So I flipped to my own birthday with that. So I think that's a message for all of us. And let me tell you that you are very special to me. Your energy and knowing that you are going to watch this video and that these messages might be helpful for you gives me so much energy, gives me so much joy. I get so excited to do these videos before we come on and we're setting everything up to sit here and pull cards for you. Thank you for being here. You can subscribe to this channel or like this video to help the channel grow and reach more people. And we'll be right back here for the first part of February to give you some messages to work with for those 2 weeks. And until then, I am just wishing you, really, I'm hearing the knowledge that you are a joy and a gift to this world. Please don't underestimate that. I'm so glad you're here, and I think the world needs you here right now. So thank you, and I will see you next time. If you want any of these products, the calendars, the decks, and get on my free newsletter, find my 9 books about spirituality, they're all below in the little information for the video. Thank you again, and I'll see you next time.